anything happened. You just
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
answer that.
Ms. Wright, you're here in case 2021 MM 7620 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond is you have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're also not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to make a condition of your pretrial release that you take any mental health medication that is prescribed to you in the dosage that is prescribed, and you keep any mental health appointments that you have while you're out on release in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order, ma'am?
No, sir, no.
Doesn't qualify for pretrial release. Is that correct, Ms. Davis?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, I was kicked off. Which case did we call? Thank you.
All right, have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may put your hand down. Would you please state your full name and your date of birth?
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Mark Monroe.
And Ms. Ruth, can you put your name on the record?
Attorney J. Ruth.
All right. Mr. Monroe, you're here in case 2021 MM 729 AW on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state, you have a mask by any chance? Mask. There we go. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Good morning. Maria Monroe, Munro.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you put your hand down, ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Monroe?
he's my husband and partner for 5 years.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir, never.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir, he doesn't drink.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ruth, do you have questions for your witness?
Briefly, do you have any fear and do you want to have him back at the house?
Yeah, we need our husband and the dad. We have 5 kids and we miss him and he's a good man and we need him home, please.
I have nothing further, Judge. We're just asking the court for no hostile contact.
All right, I see there might have been a previous injunction. Was this involving this victim or someone else?
Another victim, Judge.
I
Sorry.
think it states it is another victim, Your Honor.
Is that injunction still in place or is it expired?
I can double check, Your Honor.
So do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
While state's doing that, Ms. Ruth, do you want to tell me anything? Or we set conditions?
No, Judge, we're just requesting a straight bond of $1,000 and no hostile contact.
It's time for an arraignment for alleged violation of probation. An attorney with the public defender's office is present online to enter a
Well, I can give you the option. I can give him a lower bond, give him pretrial release or
Straight bond, Judge.
a bond. All right.
No, Your Honor, it was from 2014, and it was his ex-wife, April Monroe.
All right, Mr. Monroe, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond is for you to have no hostile contact with your wife. No hostile contact with your wife. You understand? No hostile contact means this. Give you the real super broad edges. No hostile contact means that you and your wife can have disagreements. Things happen in a marriage. You all have a lot of children. Things cause frustration between the two parties that are involved in that relationship. However, those disagreements cannot turn threatening. They cannot turn violent. There can be no abusive language used between the two of you all. Because no matter whether she calls law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing calls law enforcement, you will be arrested. You're spending the remaining of your time here with me while this case is pending. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. States any other conditions that I missed?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All
Thank you,
right.
Judge.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alonzo Almanis.
Mr. Alminas, you're here in case 2021 CF 1338280 on charges of battery, domestic violence by strangulation in counts 1 and 2, false imprisonment in count 3, tampering with a witness, hinder communication to law enforcement in count 4, and battery, domestic violence in count 5. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in counts 1 and 2 in the amount of $1,500 on each count. Count 3, 150, count 4, 150, and count 5, 150. Condition of your bond is that you to have, be subject to pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Felipe Antonio Angel.
One second. Good morning, sir. You're here in case 2021 CF 132040 on charge of aggravated stalking after injunction. Contempt of court of violation of an injunction by cyber stalking and violation of a domestic violence injunction in count 3. Judge signing your warrant in this case already found probable cause for your arrest. Give me 1 second here.
So do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may put your hand down. Please state your full name and your date of birth. So you're before the court at this time for an arraignment for an alleged violation of probation in 4 cases. The attorney
They don't have an injunction case number,
was online to enter a plea on your behalf.
so I couldn't find.
Let's see, it's 2021-001343
2021,
-001343.
001343. This is he's out of state, so I thought. All right. All right. Mr. Angel, I'm going to The judge has already found probable cause for your arrest. As a count one, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $10,000, count two, $5,000, and count three, $100. Condition your bonds be subject to pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with this victim. See? See? So, no contact with this victim or this victim's family. Not any contact with any witnesses from this case. You also must abide by the injunction in 2021-001343. That's how I put pretrial release on them, right? All right. Also condition your pretrial release should not allow to access the internet or be in possession of any device that has ability to access the internet. So flip phone.
I have to have a flip phone?
You're saying he has to have a,
I'm saying that he can't possess a device that has no internet.
Okay.
Your Honor, everyone has a cell phone to keep in contact with, if he's on pretrial release, how would he keep in contact with them if he doesn't have a phone?
He can have a phone, does not want to access the internet.
Oh, you're saying he's not allowed to access the internet?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said no device with the internet on it, so
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He cannot possess a phone that has access to the internet. So he needs to get what would be referred to now as a flip phone.
Cannot have a smartphone.
Oh,
No smartphone.
I didn't know flip phones didn't have internet. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Before my time.
Very common thing among sex offenders. The same reasons. I mean, so I'm saying it's a very common thing amongst, people that are registered sex offenders or sexual predators because they're not allowed to access the internet. So they have to have old school technology,
I
regular
didn't
phones.
know it didn't have the internet. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Sorry.
So I'm considered a sex offender?
No, sir.
No, he's making up.
I'm trying to just explain to Ms. George, which I'm appointed the public defender to represent you, is that you can have a phone, just not one that can access the internet.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna get to talk to the public defender, talk to you.
You talk to Ms. George. Ms. George is the public defender. She's a public attorney at the public defender's office. I'm appointing him to represent you, so you can talk to Ms. George. You have the right to counsel, so yes.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What was the bond on count three?
I think 150, then 100, I'm sorry.
100?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, we'll get to that. All right.
Thank you.
All right, you may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. If I wasn't clear, I did appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
You do?
How's everybody doing this morning? Are you sure? Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Avon Burrows.
Mr. Burrows, you're here in case 2021 CF 14064AO on charge of grand theft, motor vehicle, pay theft, battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief of $1,000 or more. I reviewed the charging affidavit, but super thin on.
Understood, Your Honor. If you would just give me the 24 hours.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll do this.
He's gonna give you.
This seems to be. Oh, here we go. Yes. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Alyssa Hall, Hall.
All right, you gotta come to the mic a little bit closer and just speak a little bit louder for me. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me again, one more time?
Alyssa Hall, Hall.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down, ma'am. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Burrows?
He's my child's father.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
I mean, he is my child's father, but
Well-
Child Protective Services told me that I shouldn't because they will take my daughter.
Okay. Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
We've like he hasn't been charged with anything.
Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to assess whether a contact would be appropriate at this time. So it's not really about him being charged with anything. I'm trying to ascertain the threat level to you at this point. So has there been previous instances of domestic violence in the past, and what's the most recent one prior to this incident? So it seemed like something happened before. When it happened before this incident?
I thought that we were just talking about this case.
Well, one of the things I have to consider is his prior, present, and possible future conduct. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, what was the previous conduct, so I can then talk about the present conduct and move forward to the after conduct.
Well, I really just came to tell you guys like that I didn't now that I've kind of stepped back and evaluated the situation. Like me and my mom, we both agreed that he shouldn't be charged with the grand theft auto
Okay.
because like he has had permission to drive the car in the past.
Well,
And
I want to focus on the domestic violence part of the situation. So not the grand theft auto, that's fine. We'll talk more concerned about the domestic violence situation. Those are the reasons why I'm asking these questions.
We have gotten into it in the past, yes.
Okay. And what was the most recent time that you got into it with him?
A while ago.
What's a while? A month, 2 months, a year, 2 years?
More than a month.
All right. Does anybody have any information about his previous injunctions that he's had?
I'll check now.
It seems like they're out of Michigan. All right, Mr. Burrows, I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. I want to give the state the 24 hours that they need as to count two. That's everything, but I want to set bond in count one, amount of $2,000, count two, zero bond, and then until tomorrow, and then count three, an amount of $150. Until that time, no contact with the victim.
So we're not going to talk about the other things?
Ma'am,
We're not talking about the other things?
what other things?
Like the criminal mischief? I can't charge him with that because I filed an insurance claim and I can't do both.
Who said that?
I can't.
Who said that? Who told you that?
It isn't like I just can't do that.
you don't want to do that, or somebody told you
No,
you
I don't
can't
want
do
to
that?
charge him with criminal mischief, and I don't want to charge him with grand theft auto.
Okay, well, the charges are really determined by the state of Florida, so so I'm trying to make sure that somebody's not giving you false information. So, if you don't want to charge him, like you don't want to proceed on that charge, that's maybe something you got to talk to the state about. But it's nothing that the court can do anything about right now. My job is to set release
The
conditions.
reason that I came here was because I was told that I was supposed to come here to talk about this stuff and explain that I don't feel like he should be charged with that stuff.
That's again, I'm not sure who told you that. That's what I'm trying to tell.
Whoever called me,
All right, so I'm sorry that that's not the reason why you're here. You have a constitutional right to be heard. Florida Constitution guarantees victims' right to be heard at any proceeding where they're the alleged victim or next of kin. So you have the right to be heard. And right now, what we're talking about in this hearing is about release conditions for Mr. Burrows. That's the reason why we're having to ask those questions. Like, do you want to have contact? Do you want, what's the previous history between you all, so I can ascertain what type of release conditions I should set for Mr. Burrows. So if you want to go to a later court hearing, you may have a trial or some other kind of hearing where it's a fact finder. That's not what we're here for today. All right, but the affidavit submitted by law enforcement doesn't really give me enough information to find probable cause for all these counts. So the state has more time to supplement the court file, which they've asked me to do. So I want to set this case for tomorrow morning, and we will see if the state is able to produce more information to the court where I can find probable cause for his arrest.
okay.
So you are entitled to be here tomorrow if you want to come tomorrow as well.
And that's where I could be able to explain.
No, it's gonna be the same thing. You'll be, I won't be here, Judge Gibson will be here, and same thing, it'll be the same conversation about his release conditions, because that's what the purpose of this hearing is for. All right, it's for me to determine whether there was probable cause for his arrest, and for me to set release conditions. Those are the two things I'm supposed to be doing in this hearing.
Okay, can I say something to him?
No, please, I just ordered him to have no contact with you. So I don't want him to try to maybe violate that contact and not have to actually take action on him. And finally, you can find him in direct contempt of my orders by that point because he's doing it right in my presence.
Okay.
All right. So yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, I was gonna ask, given, the victim's testimony here today, for the grand theft,
I'm just setting bonds right now. I mean, I don't find probable cause for any of this. That's why I'm giving the state 24 hours to reset. We're going to talk to him tomorrow, but I just set bonds right now. But I want to hold him on the domestic violence charge because I'm looking at his previous history.
No, I understand, Your Honor. I was just gonna ask if on count 1, you could consider treating it as a subsidiary only because, the victim did testify today that he did have permission to use the vehicle, and I'm anticipating the battery charge he's going to have a higher bond on the battery charge based on the history.
Yeah, Judge Gibson can modify, change, do whatever she wants to do tomorrow. I just want to make it clear that the only charge I'm holding him on is the dangerous crime charge for pretrial detention so we can have this hearing.
How long will he be held?
How long can he be held?
Like you said, you're holding him like you're not giving him a bond on that charge?
That's correct. So I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Oh,
Judge Gibson's going to see him tomorrow morning.
Then he will get a bond tomorrow?
Possibly. We don't know. I don't know what the state's going to give me. So right now I don't have enough information to set bonds because I don't find probable cause for his arrest at this moment because the charging affidavit submitted by law enforcement doesn't contain much information. It kind of gives very conclusory statements without kind of laying out what happened. It alleges that it was an incident, there was a physical incident between you and him, that there was some property that was yours that was broken and damaged, and there was, a car that may have been taken without permission, but that doesn't give me enough information to find probable cause based on that. So they gotta give me a little bit more for me to find probable cause at that point.
Okay.
So it's just a very short summary of what happened, nothing, no details, no nothing. So the state was going to present, they had the opportunity to present more evidence to me tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll have to meet to Judge Gibson tomorrow. Okay? So you can come tomorrow if you want. It's your right to be here. But I just want to make sure that you understood that that's what's going on here. What's going on here, the judge in this position finds probable cause or not and sets release conditions. And then there's other hearings that happen later on. We can talk to the state attorney about what's going to be charged, what they can prove, and those kind of things like that. That's up to the state of Florida, not up to the court.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
All right. Everybody have a great day. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jarrell Butler, sir.
Mr. Butler, you're here in case 2021 CF 14065AO on charge of tampering, witness, and hindering communication of law enforcement and battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Say, these prior cases involve the same victim? I see an aggravated battery on a pregnant person, 3 domestic violence, battery, misdemeanor, or felony.
I was able to find 5 prior domestic violence instances dating back to 2010, Your Honor. 3 of the 5 are with the same victim.
All right. All right, Mr. Butler, in count 1, of course, going to set your bond in amount of $2,500. Count 2, $500. Additionally, your bonds that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order?
So I get the bond out today?
You should. Just don't violate my orders.
All right. No, I ain't gonna do that, sir.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Lakina Dames.
Ms. Dames, you're here in case 2021 MM7616AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. They did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case. 1 second. Amount of $250 is going to cover pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you one-time return to any shared residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. 250. Do you have any questions about the stipulations or your no contact order, ma'am?
Yeah, that's my house.
Yeah, so I ordered you to maintain a separate residence from her.
So she could leave my house?
If you, I don't know. I don't know what's the situation.
I could go back to my house when I leave here, right?
As long as she's not there.
She said she left.
Yeah, as long as she's not there.
Okay, that's all. What is that?
Because I ordered you to maintain a separate residence. Stay 500 feet away from her residence.
No problem.
And all the other stipulations on the order.
Got you.
All right. Have a great day, ma'am. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Mark Dial.
You're here in two matters. The first one, 2021 MM7629AO on charge of battery dating violence. You're also here in 2021 MM7638AO on charge of violation of domestic violence injunction. Did review the charging affidavits in both cases. Did find a factual basis in both cases. No probable cause for your arrest in both cases. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Hello. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name is Nancy Letourneau. It's spelled Letourneau.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter? Do you swear to solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Dial?
He's been my domestic partner for 15 years.
All right. And let me correct, you're the subject of this injunction in 2020 DR 6050.
When was that?
I'm looking at it, trying to remember, figure this out. One second, give me 1 second. Let me finish reading it again. All right, so you have an injunction in place between you and him, correct?
No hostile contact injunction.
No, ma'am.
It was for 3 years.
It's a no contact injunction.
The judge told me it was no hostile contact.
There's no hostile contact in communications with you and him about a motorcycle.
That was a previous injunction.
There's another injunction in place?
There was one after that. That one was reduced to a no hostile contact.
All right, let me look at, there you go, let me pull that one up.
It's on the second.
Ashley McGinnis from Harbor House was the attorney that helped me with that.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
That would have been the fall of 2020,
Yeah,
I
I'm looking
believe,
at it.
in
Look at it.
October, November.
I see one on November 19th. Let me look at it. All right, so do you want to continue your contact with Mr. Dial?
I would request that you make the non-hostile contact injunction permanent.
I can't, I'm not the judge for that. You're gonna have to go back and see who signed this injunction. I'm not sure they're still in that division. You're gonna talk to Judge Pender Rodriguez about those kind of things.
How do I do that?
I'm here to talk about the criminal case and what release conditions that I'm gonna set for Mr. Dial.
All right.
So I'm trying to ascertain whether you desire to have contact with him while this criminal case is pending, regardless of what's going on with the injunction is a separate matter.
As long as he's not drinking, that's fine with me.
All right. All right, State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dial, I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. George, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Dial, in 2021 MM 7629 AO, we're going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $3,000. In the conditions in both cases are going to be the same. In 2021 MM 7638 AO, we're going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $10,000. Condition your bond in both cases that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing in both cases. Like I said, appointed the public defender to represent you. In this case, you may have to go in front of the injunction judge for another matter, but after this case, that's what's going on until we can get you in front of Judge Shoemaker for any further hearings on the criminal matter. All right, Ms. George, like Mr. Dyer has a question. You may want to talk to him.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dow, you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order? All right, you have a great day.
Excuse me, Judge
ma'am.
Bain,
Yes, ma'am.
is this no contact order for the time period of while the case is being waited on? And then when he goes in front of another judge, the other judge will decide what to do?
I'm not sure. He can ask Judge Shoemaker in the criminal case to modify my orders, or that's what's going to happen as far as the criminal side. Your injunction case is a separate matter in front of a circuit judge. I told Judge Pender Rodriguez, and that's two different things that can happen. He'd be held in contempt in that case. There's some different things that can go on as to that case is concerned. But as to the criminal case, it's going to go along the criminal track until the case comes some kind of resolution, either through the state filing the case, some kind of plea if the state files the case in trial, and those kind of things like that. So as long as that case is going on, there's going to be no contact unless a judge like Judge Shoemaker modifies that condition.
He is a good man when he's not drinking. He has nowhere else to go. And he is 65 years old. He will live on the street. And when he tried that before, he was beat up, taken to the hospital. And I don't doubt that that's what will happen if he can manage to stay alive at all.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, well.
I mean, I can't do anything about that, ma'am. You seem to have injuries from this incident. There's a lengthy history of domestic violence between you two and him. There's injunctions in place where he's already violated those court orders. So I'm not so sure how you want to convince me that he's not going to continue to violate those court orders when he's done so many times in the past. So without any change in what's going on with him.
Well, the changes with him would have to be that he doesn't drink.
That's choices that Mr. Dial's going to have to make. I can't do that for him. He's going to have to choose to, understand that he has a substance abuse issue, seek help for that substance abuse issue, understand that he's not in control of this disease, that he's going to have to find ways to fight it. So those are the things that he's going to have to do. It's nothing I can't do it. Have you been successful doing it?
Not a bit.
So how can I be? I'm not going to be successful doing it. But my goal, one of the things I have to do is make sure that he's not going to cause harm to you. At least try to prevent that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
that's what my goal is right now.
Excuse me. I will be notified if he dies on the street. Will they tell you?
Probably.
They will?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, I get all kind of information about, defendants committing suicide, being killed, overdosing, all very tragic things that I had in my previous practice and that I still continue until now. So I get a lot more information than I would like a lot of times, but it's part of the job.
Yeah. Well, I wish you peace and safety, Judge Payne.
All right.
Thank
you.
you.
Too, ma'am. All right. You have a great day.
You too.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Shakiria Greer.
Ms. Greer, you're here in case 2021 MM 72580 on a charge of battery domestic violence. Judge signing a warrant in this case already found probable cause for your arrest. Sorry, it's the AO case. It's already found probable cause for your arrest. Gonna set your bond. Correct. Gonna set your bond in this matter, amount of $500 is gonna come with pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're gonna maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location.
I'll stay with him.
You may not, that's fine. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. I give people the option, may lift a go bag, toothbrush, underwear, wherever, give you a chance to get that stuff from that location without violating my orders.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you have any questions about the stipulations or your no contact order? No. All right. Have a great day, ma'am.
Brian Hendricks reviews.
All right, it's 2021 MM 7619AO. Mr. Hendricks, I want to appoint a public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, did find probable cause for his arrest in this case on a charge of battery domestic violence. Going to set his bond in this case in an amount of $1,500. Condition of the bond, you have no contact with the victim. Maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give him one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has at the location. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. He also may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. He's subject to random drug and alcohol testing. Is Seminole County already, I see you got a hold for someone already for probation, for violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, but it's in Seminole County. We'll see him. No, I'm not taking it. They're already holding him. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Joseph.
Ms. Joseph, you're here in case 2021 MM 7632 AO. On a charge of battery domestic violence, they reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. It's another one which doesn't qualify.
Oh, yeah, she can qualify, Your Honor.
All right. All I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Ms. McLeod, you're here in case 2021 MM7628 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this matter amount of $1,000. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order, ma'am?
Yeah, so he was leaving a residence, and that's my home with my children. Do I have the permission to still be there?
As long as he's not there.
Okay, perfect. And $1,000 flat, or it's $100?
It's $1,000. The bond is set at $1,000. You can pay the $1,000, work with a bondsman, use some other kind of collateral. I'm not sure how you want to do that. That's up to you.
So I know, like, but you don't have to pay 10%.
I don't know what the fees that bondsmen charge. That's a private contract between you and a bondsman. Not with the court. All right. You have a good day, ma'am.
You want some?
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
Morning.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Mohammed Naid Saidi.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM7633 AO on charge of battery dating violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Giselle Victoria.
All right. Can you spell your last name?
Bictoria.
All right. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you need an interpreter, ma'am?
Yes, please.
What language do you speak?
Spanish.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good morning, Ms. Dania. This is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. I have a victim in my witness booth. Can you ask her again to greet her this morning and ask her to tell me her name and spell her last name?
Señora, buenos días. Por favor, diga su nombre y su apellido y deletree el apellido.
Giselle Victoria. Victoria.
Lisel Victoria. Giselle Victoria. Victoria.
All right, ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Señora, por favor, levante la mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Lo juro.
I swear.
All right, you put your hand down, ma'am.
Puede bajar la mano.
Can you tell me how do you know the defendant?
Dígame, por favor, de qué conoce al acusado.
Es mi novio.
He is my boyfriend.
Vivimos juntos.
We live together.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con él mientras la causa esté abierta?
Sí.
Yes.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
En el pasado habían ocurrido incidentes de violencia doméstica entre ustedes.
Él nunca me había pegado.
He had never hit me.
Y él estaba tomado. Quizás fue por eso.
And he was drunk. I
Él
think
es
maybe
un
that
buen
was the
hombre.
reason. He is a good man.
All right.
Yo le contesté mal y tal vez por eso él se enojó.
I answered him in a bad manner. That's why maybe he got angry.
All right, State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No,
¿La fiscalía tiene alguna pregunta que hacerle a la testigo?
no, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
Mr. Hernandez, say your last name again.
Nate Saidi.
Señora,
Say it slower so I can hear you.
Nate Saidi.
Mr. Nassidi, I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case.
señor Neseidi, se designa el abogado de oficio para que les represente en esta causa.
Ms. George, do you have any questions for the witness?
Licenciada George, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para la testigo?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
Your Honor, I would ask for a no hostile contact order, given the victim's testimony here today and his criminal history.
Su señoría, solicito que por favor se conceda contacto sin hostilidades entre ambos debido al testimonio de ella y a los antecedentes de él.
All right, sir, we're going to set your bond in this case. Amount $250 is going to come with pretrial release supervision.
Señor, se fija fianza en este caso por la cantidad de $250 con supervisión del programa de libertad provisional.
You have no hostile contact with the victim in this case.
Se prohíbe el contacto hostil con la víctima de este caso.
No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to have disagreements with your girlfriend.
Could you repeat, please?
La prohibición de hostilidad significa lo siguiente: a usted se
No,
le
no, no.
permite
I could proceed
tener
with English, please.
desacuerdos con la
For
víctima.
her, not for you. All right. Sir,
Estamos
you're
interpretando
not
para
going to
ella, no
have
para
no
usted.
hostile contact with your girlfriend. No hostile contact.
Se le permite tener contacto con su novia sin hostilidad, sin hostilidad.
You're going to have disagreements with her. Those disagreements cannot be threatening. They cannot turn violent. There could be no abusive language used between the two of you.
Usted puede tener desacuerdos con su novia, pero esos desacuerdos no pueden ser amenazantes, agresivos, ni puede utilizar usted lenguaje violento hacia ella.
Because no matter whether she calls law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you arguing calls law enforcement, you will be arrested.
Porque no importa si es ella quien llama a las autoridades o si alguien los ve a ustedes discutiendo y llama a las autoridades, a usted lo van a arrestar.
And you spend the remaining of your time here with me on a no bond status. You understand?
Y entonces va a estar aquí mucho tiempo conmigo sin fianza, ¿eso lo ha entendido?
Yes.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego. Si usted tiene armas de fuego, tendrá que entregarlas a las autoridades en un plazo de 24 horas luego de ser puesto en libertad.
You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de drogas o alcohol sin receta válida.
I already appointed the public defender to represent you. You have a great day.
Se ha designado el abogado de oficio para que les represente. Que tenga buen día.
Yo quiero hacer una pregunta para la fianza de él. ¿Hay que pagar con su tarjeta? ¿Cómo lo hacemos?
I want to ask a question. How would we pay for his bond with his credit card?
I'm not sure what you want to do. You want to talk to the people downstairs about that.
Eso yo no le puedo contestar. Eso tiene que consultarlo con las personas que están en el piso de abajo.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day.
Your Honor, do we have a case number for
I'm
this?
sorry, it's 2021, apologize for that. MM 7633AO.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that was my only, can you check my audience and see if there's anybody else that needs your assistance?
¿Alguna de las personas que se encuentre en la sala necesita los servicios del intérprete al español?
I don't see any hands raised. All right, thank you, Mr. Downing. You have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alexis Osorio.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 7627AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. No pretrial release. Doesn't qualify. Apologize. No pretrial release. Apologize. But the condition of your bond, you had no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order?
Your Honor, I don't live in the same residence with my sister. She lives apart. I live up in another house. I was at the house I live.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you have any questions about the stipulations. You're going to be able to follow the orders, my orders.
No, sir. I understand your.
Okay, that's it. Have a great day. All right, good morning. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
True, Stuart Mays.
Mr. Stuart Mays, you're here in case 2021 MM 7631AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Kiana Anderson, Anderson.
And could you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
That's fine.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Stuart Mays?
This is my brother.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all since you were an adult?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
Do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stuart Mays is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. George, you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor. I would just ask for no hostile contact order given the testimony here today, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, Mr. George, you know, I'll talk to Mr. Stuart Mays and see if he's going to be able to abide by my no hostile contact order.
Your Honor, we're okay with the no contact order.
All right. You said no contact or no?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Stewart Mays, in this case, I want to set your bond in the amount of $100, conditioning your bond to be subject to pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from each other. You all live separately, correct?
Yes.
Right. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I appointed the public defender to represent you in this case. Everybody have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Samuel Omichi Talbot.
1 second. All right. Mr. Talbot, you're here in case 2021 MM 513AA on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case, amount $15,000. Conditioning your bond, you had no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. Give you a one-time return with law enforcement if you need it. Retrieve any personal items you have. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to return to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may have any contact with any witnesses from this case. So you're out on bond in case 2021 CF 1137 AO, where Judge John Savage orders you to have no contact with this victim, as well as you violating probable cause that you violated the law. The court's going to revoke that bond and release in that case. Going to set bond in that case amount of $0. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, the new case. You have a great day, sir.
Excuse me. So I don't have a bond now?
Now, that's to the old case, no.
No, oh, I'm talking about for this case. I can
This case, you have a bond out. You can bond out in this case, but you're going to be held on your other case.
I go to court on this case Friday.
On the old case, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Hey, look.
I mean, that's where my court date is set.
think it's Monday.
No, Monday. No, the 29th, you have a trial, you have trial management, you have trial on Monday.
Yes, I do.
All right. So you see Judge Navarro on Friday.
Okay. Well, on Friday, I have them get a bond.
I don't know, you gotta talk to your attorney about that. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Ms. Workman, you're here in case 2021 MM7630AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Michael Cranford, Cranford.
Okay, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Wrong. All right, sir, can you tell me how you know Ms. Workman?
She's my fiance.
Okay. And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, but I do want to drop charges.
All right.
It was kind of like the police were called out of just I don't know, I was just being childish. And I really should have never even called the police.
All right. Well, I got a couple questions for you before we get to that part. Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
Alcohol.
All right. And are you the subject of this injunction that's in place?
I don't understand that.
She has an injunction that's in place. I don't know who the victim is. I'm trying to figure out if that you are the victim from the
Yes, sir.
injunction. From the injunction case, you are the victim?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I guess I'm not sure what the police.
No, so,
He's not the victim.
okay. All right. Are you aware that she has a prior domestic violence injunction in place against somebody with somebody else?
No, sir.
Are you aware of her prior violations of those injunctions?
No, sir.
Does that change your mind as to whether you want to have contact with her?
No, sir.
Sadie, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Workman, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Ms. George, do you have any questions for the witness?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Does anybody want to advocate for anything other than no contact? Talking to the attorneys, apologize.
Given the victim's testimony here today, I would ask for no hostile contact order, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to say anything as to my concerns about her ability to abide by court orders?
Your Honor, I would just state that in the arrest affidavit, it did state she was acting bizarre. So I just ask that you take into consideration that, and that if she violates your court order, she'll be brought back here and she could be held at no bond. The victim states he would be willing to call law enforcement if anything like this happened in the future.
All right. So on my face sheet, it says she disclosed no psychiatric medications. Mr. Cranford, is she taking psychiatric medications, psychotropic medications for mental health disease or disorder?
Am I?
No, is she taking those, does she take medications?
Yeah, she's prescribed something.
You know what it is?
It's I can't think of it right off the top of my head there, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. George, can you find out what it is she's supposed to be taking?
No,
I think it's Klonopin or something like that.
that's what it is, Your Honor.
Okay.
Anxiety.
Say it. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear what somebody.
Anxiety, for anxiety.
All right. All right, Ms. Workman, I'm gonna give you a shot here. We'll note that you do have a previous conviction for violating the domestic violence injunction from last December. Well, I'll give you a shot, Mr. Cranford, since he may be able to handle you a little bit better.
She is a very good woman.
That's not my concern. My concern is that if she is taking that medication and she consumes any form of alcohol, then she's going to become psychotic.
Yeah.
Which is what it sounds like what happened.
I understand that, Your Honor.
And she, from what I can see,
I apologize to the court.
she seems to be working in healthcare, so
I'm a nurse.
she should have took some
So, I'm sorry.
pharmaceutical classes to understand how those two things don't interact. All right, Mr. Workman, I want to set your bond in this case about $1,500, conditioning your bond that you have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. No hostile contact means this. We are going to have disagreements. Things come up in a relationship that cause conflict. However, those disagreements cannot become threatening. There can be no violence between the two of you all. There also cannot be abusive language used during those arguments. It doesn't matter whether the victim calls law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing calls law enforcement. You will be arrested. And you'll be staying here with me on a no bond status. You understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
No, I don't have any.
You also may not possess or any drugs or alcohol that you're not prescribed, you don't have a prescription for, subject to random drug and alcohol testing. You also in order that you take your mental health medications in the dosage that is prescribed to you. And keep any mental health appointments that you have with your mental health providers. Already appointed the public defender to represent you, so you have an attorney in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jalen Cobb.
Is it Jay McCall?
Jalen Cobb.
Hobb?
Yes, sir.
Who's this? Our first Allen County is Mitchell.
No.
That's not on the sheet. I don't remember seeing a Cobb, period. That's one. I had Mitchell, Stevens.
That's why they.
Yeah, I guess somebody posted your bond. Have a
Yes,
good day.
yes, sir.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. You too.
What is this? Go on, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Michael Mitchell.
There we go. Mr. Mitchell, you're here in case 2020 CT 1787 from Osceola County. You had a failure to appear warrant in that case. The judge set your bond amount of $0. Your bond's going to remain at $0. Hopefully we get you down to Osceola sometime today or tomorrow. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you. They're already representing you. You have a great day. Yes, ma'am. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sherman Stevens.
Stevens, you're here in case 2021 CF 1610 from Leon County. The judge in Leon County signed a warrant setting your bond at no bond. Your bond's going to remain at no bond to get you on to Leon County. We want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. You have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Frederick Tatum.
Mr. Tatum, you're here in Polk County case. Let's see if I can get a better case number. No. 2019 CT 8079WH for a failure to appear warrant on in that case. The judge in that case set your bond at no bond. Bond's going to remain at no bond at this time. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you till we get you over to Polk County. You have a great day, sir. I can't hear you.
I don't need a public defender.
Well, I don't know when Polk County's coming to pick you up, so you may want somebody to, be able to notify me if you've been sitting here for a long time.
I know they have like 72 hours to come get me.
Yes and no, because it's COVID, so that's not going to release you. Because one of the rules say I can't modify this order without talking to the judge out there. So you may end up sitting here for longer than that 72 hours if they don't come get you right away.
Okay, well, yes, I will take a public defender, please.
All right, have a good day, sir. No. I have no idea. Full time does it. They come visit this, but this is the case. Yeah. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alexander Boston.
All right. So Boston, you're here in two matters. The first one, 2017 CF 1229 and 2017 CF 5076 for violations of probations in both cases. Judges signed warrants finding probable cause and setting your bond at no bond. Your bond is going to remain at no bond as to those two cases. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. There we go. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Trevor Dolan, Your Honor.
Mr. Dolan, here in case 2020 CF 14757 on a charge of violation of probation. The judge signed your warrant in this case, set your bond, found probable cause, setting your bond at no bond in this matter. You're a violent felony offender of special concern, sir. You're not going to be entitled to release or bail on bond on this case until your violation of probation is completed. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir, Your Honor.
You have no action on his out on bond case.
Order Lockhart refused.
All right. This is 2021 CF 5440 AO, Mr. Lockhart. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
His bond is no bond for his violation of probation. Warrant signed by the judge. It will remain as set. Judge Lattimore next week. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 3658 AO on a charge of, let's see, violation of probation. Judge signed your warrant in this case, found probable cause for your arrest, set your bond at no bond. Your bonds can remain as set in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. Does anybody have anything else before we go into recess?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from defense.
Yes. Say. Status in Division 50. I have Briggs, 2021 MM 1581 AO. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? You gotta step closer to the mic for a minute.
Freddie Briggs Jr.
All right, Mr. Briggs, you're here in case 2021 MM 1581 AO. On charge of battery domestic violence. Was this served, the summons? Is there a way we can get these on our screen too, like a regular arraignment? They're not on, I mean, I have to look them up, but I'm like, they're not on our calendar thing. Briggs. I have, where? Wouldn't be in Division 52? Okay, here we go. Orlando? Okay, here we go. All right. All right. All right, Mr. Briggs, looks like, state, do you have, let me see, what's this notice of file? Is it proof? All right, so it was served. All right, sir, you are charged by information with one count of battery domestic violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Did you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case? I can't hear you.
Sir,
No? Do you have any legal experience?
I got my own lawyer. I got a lawyer already. But
Who's your lawyer?
William Hancock, third.
William Metcalf?
Hancock.
William Hancock?
Bill Hancock.
Oh, okay, Bill Hancock, that's right.
William Hancock.
All right. All right, sir, I'm going to enter, did you sign a contract with him for him to represent you? Did you?
Taking on all my cases.
Taking on all your cases? All right. All right, sir, I'm going to enter a non-prejudicial plea of not guilty on your behalf. I'm going to set you for pretrial in Division 50 on the following days.
Saying how many days, sir?
Your next court date. All right, make sure Mr. Hancock gets a notice of appearance filed. Otherwise, you're going to be pro se until that point. All right, have a great day, sir. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Say it one more time.
Clement Israel.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 7034 AO on a charge of battery domestic violence in count 1, trespass on property or conveyance in count 2, trespass on property other than structure or conveyance in count 2, and second-degree criminal mischief in count 3. Counts 1 and 2 are first-degree misdemeanors. They're punishable to 1 year in the county jail each and up to a $1,000 fine each. And the count 3 is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Ms. George, he's a public defender client. What plea do you want to enter on his behalf?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, sir. The court's going to set your plea of not guilty. I'm going to set you for the pretrial in Division 50 on the following day. All right, sir. Have a great day. Keep in contact with your attorney.
There you go.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jacoy Joshua Massacott.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 6813 AO on charge of one count of battery domestic violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Ms. George, Mr. Mascot seems to be a public defender client. Do you want to enter a plea on his behalf?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Sir, I'll accept your plea of not guilty at this time. I'm going to set you for pretrial in Division 50 on the following days. Have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Rodriguez Menina, you're here in case 2021 MM7489AO. You're charged by information with one count of trespass in a structure. That's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 1 year, 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Sorry, so the maximum penalty for that is 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. State was then offer to resolve Mr. Rodriguez Molina's case.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt. Credit time served. No return to 7629 Marietta Street. Zip code is 32807.
Mr. Rodriguez Molina. So, Ms. George, did you discuss that offer with your client?
I did, Your Honor, and we would like to accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
Mr. Rodriguez Molina, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Sir, you're here and, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Or you can put your hand down. Sir, again, that charge you're facing is a second-degree misdemeanor and trespass in the structure. It's 60 maximum penalties for that is 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Ms. George, tell me you want to enter a plea of no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights that she went over with the plea form with you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you. Say again?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do the parties stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I did have opportunity to review this court file and the related court file 2021 CF 7241AO. Did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept Mr. Rodriguez Medina's plea of no contest, find that his plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I want to adjudicate him guilty of the charge. I'm going to sentence him to 60 days in Orange County Jail with 60 days credit time served. Cost of prosecution in this case are $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. I'm going to make all these costs payable directly to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. Mr. Rodriguez Medina, you have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day, sir. I can't give him 130. Can't send somebody to an illegal sentence.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal. The interpreter has been.
All right. Hello, hello?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Mr. Laura, I can barely hear you.
Just adjusting the volume right now, Your Honor. See if it helps. Testing.
All right, a little better.
Interpreter will just speak a little louder, Your Honor, maybe.
There we go, maybe. I'm not sure how you sound in the headphones. Can you check for me?
Connected, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Danilo Milian Prieto.
Danilo Villan Prieto.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 14056AO on a charge of possession of cocaine. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest.
Could you repeat that, please? I didn't hear quite well.
Yes, sir. You're here in case 2021 CF 14056AO on charge of possession of cocaine. I reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Additionally, your pretrial release, you may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not associate with any known drug dealers or drug users. You be subject to random drug testing through pretrial release in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Joel. Ramos. Joel Ramos.
Joel Ramos.
Mr. Ramos, you're here in case 2021 CF 7191JO on charges of conspiracy to traffic in 400 grams or more of cocaine, and in count 2 on lawful use of a two-way communication device. The judge signing your warrant in this case has found probable cause for your arrest.
Sí, pero ¿puedo hablar?
Yes, but may I speak?
I'm going to suggest you don't talk about the facts of your case because everything you talk about in this courtroom can be used against you at a later court date. I want to state the bonds in the warrant in the amount of $500,000 in count 1 and count 2, $150. Condition of the bond that you not have any contact with your co-defendants in this case. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You also be subject to Florida Statute 903.046, sub 2, sub F, and that you got to file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out did not come from any illegal or illicit source. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, but judging by the number of defendants, you're probably going to be assigned a regional conflict attorney at some later date. You have a great day, sir. All right, Mr. Laurel, I think that was my last case. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Corey Brown.
What happened to moisture?
Excuse me?
1 second. I have one more defendant before you.
Your Honor, Moisture, his behavior.
All right. This is 2021 MM7617AO. Mr. Moisture, I want to appoint a public defender to represent him. You want to try to get him tomorrow morning?
Yes, Your Honor, there was an offer.
All right. Let's roll him for tomorrow morning. See if we can, feel a little better about coming to court. All right. Sorry. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You are here in case 2021 CF 14014AO on charge of burglary of an occupied structure and petty theft. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $3,500, count 2, $100. Condition of the bond that you not have it returned to the scene of the location, or you may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Aquarius McCray.
Mr. McCray, you're here in case 2021 CF 14022 AO on count one, warrant signed by the judge, finding probable cause for attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. Count two, attempted carjacking with a firearm. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Say, what are you asking I do is to count one.
Your Honor, count one is punishable by life. I ask you hold defendant, no bond.
Right? And Ms. George, your response to the state's request.
No, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing.
All right, Mr. McCray, as count one, I'm going to hold you at no bond. Count two, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $100,000. I'm going to make a condition of your bond that you have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants from this case. You may not want to strike this no hostile violent contact from the warrant. You may not return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be shown to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release if you are given a bond as to count one. And I wish you the best, but you can. Yes, man.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Christopher Weiner.
All right, get your face covered. Mr. Weiner, you're here in case 2021 CF 4759 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Counsel, you want to put your name on the record?
Yes, it's Jeremiah Allen on behalf of Mr. Weiner.
All right, Mr. Weiner, the judge in your case set your bond at no bond. On your failure to appear warrant, your bond's going to remain as set unless somebody has something from the judge.
Judge, can I just tell you what happened? I understand your hands are tied a little bit, but just briefly, Mr. Weiner had a case management set. He failed to appear for that. I filed, I think it should be I know it's in the clerk file, motion to withdraw warrant. I was having my client contacted me, then we lost contact, so I wasn't able to tell him about that date. So that's the reason we're here now. I don't know, he's got ties to the community. He was a diversion candidate. We had the paperwork done with the state. If the court would maybe consider giving him a bond, considering all that.
I got to talk to Judge Blackman about it. It looks like, yeah, you tried to get in on a motion to withdraw warrant on the 20th, but obviously that fell through, and he just picked up on the warrant. So quite sure you can get in front of Judge Blackman relatively quickly. And I think he was in a murder trial like about a week ago, but he should be more freer to address your case.
Sure.
All right.
Thanks, Judge. I understand.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
Good to see you too. Oh, there you go. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Brian Faulkner.
Mr. Faulkner, you're here in case 2021 MM7635 AO on charge of loitering and prowling. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I'm struggling to find probable cause, though. From my understanding, from my reading, if I remember correctly, he was standing in the driveway when they showed up.
Yes.
So, I mean, he maybe another charge there, but it was somebody's in plain sight is going to now be concealing themselves from law enforcement.
You were correct, Your Honor. He was found in the driveway, not in the back of the house where there was an open door.
Yeah. He was hiding like in the porch in the back. He saw the police, ran to the backyard, jumped in the porch or something, and
No.
so right now, I'm not gonna find any probable cause for loitering and prowling. Do you want more time, or?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is the court not finding out probable cause for your arrest at this time? Is going to release you in your own recognizance. You may. You should, if you're not staying at this Grand Street address, you may want to keep your address updated because the state may file different charges against you. So, but as to this arrest, well, I'll release you in your own recognizance. No. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Tell me your name, please. Mr. Pierre, you hear case 2021 MM7623AO on charge of petty theft. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Was there an offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. It's a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven located at 3508 South Orange Blossom Trail.
All right, and Mr. On point of public defender represent you because I don't think he doesn't have a criminal history, so I'm figuring he's a diversion candidate.
He is, Your Honor. However, he does not, he's currently transient. He does not have any type of
Okay.
telephone or address.
I got you.
I know there are times where we, you make an order where they have to maintain contact, let's just say weekly, with a public defender's office. I would ask for that in this case. If not, Your Honor, he would have.
I guess, is he going to be a good diversion candidate if we can't find him? Because I'm saying, like, I mean, I'll say this, they can offer him diversion at arraignment if he does show up. But then when it's time to sign the contract, how do we get him in to sign the contract if we can't find him? I'm just thinking like a long term about this case.
Your Honor, which is why if he maintains contact with his attorney
Right.
weekly, and then once he goes to arraignment, he should be given a new court date. He does have a brother that he could provide an address for. He just doesn't stay there, but he would be able to get his mail there, Your Honor.
Does he know the address now, or?
You know the address by heart? Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Pierre, can you tell me the address?
South Texas Ave.
South what now?
Texas Avenue.
South Texas, Texas Ave. All right. Ms. George.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Pierre, I'm going to order a release. I did find probable cause and release you in your own recognizance in this case. Make a condition of your release. It should not return to the scene of the location where this incident occurred. You don't have any contact with any victims or witnesses. I want to also order that you keep in contact with your attorney at least twice a month. And you should probably go by your brother's house at least twice a month to make sure you don't have any mail from the court. No. Yeah. You can't order him to live at somebody or go to somebody else's house. I mean, it's not his. I mean, I appointed public defender representative, Mr. Pierre. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Gloria Jean Vance.
Ma'am, we're here in case 2021 MM7614AO on a charge of petty theft. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Say, was there an offer to resolve this case today?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Vance going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $500. Conditioning your bond is you not have any contact with any victims or witnesses, not return to the scene, the location. We want to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yeah, Leaks.
Mr. Leaks, you're here in case 2021 MM14AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge in that case set each one of your bonds amount of $500. Going to ask the state to have an offer to resolve this case today.
Your Honor, the offer was a withhold of adjudication, credit time served on both charges, Your Honor.
Are you represented by the public defender's office?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Leaks, you want to accept that offer from the state of Florida?
Yeah, like.
You got to cover your face?
Time, sir, man.
Yep.
Judge says? Yeah.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can put your hand down. So the charges you're facing in count one is resisting officer without violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Count two is petty theft of $100 or more. That's also a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Ms. George, what plea do you enter on behalf of your client?
No contest, Your Honor.
Mr. Leaks, did you want to enter a plea of no contest to these two charges? No, keep your face covered. I can hear you. Do you want to enter a plea of no contest to these charges?
Yes, that's what my plea.
Yep. Do you want to enter a plea of no contest? Yeah. Did you have opportunity to review? Yep.
Your Honor, can I have a moment to speak with him? I didn't see any notes, but I just want to speak to him as far as his,
Well,
he understands.
He has a prior conviction, which means that at some point the court found him incompetent to proceed as to that. The face sheet does notate he has some mental health concerns, but I'm not
I'm
not sure at this point during our conversation,
Right, but
Yeah.
I just want to speak to him right
Yep, you can step back and talk to him.
Okay.
All right. We can bring up Mr. McManus? So, there you go. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
John Eric McManus, sir.
Mr. McManus, you're here in case 2021 MO1226AO on charge of disorderly conduct. I did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. The city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs to resolve this case. That's something you want to do right now?
Excuse me, I couldn't.
The city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs. Do you want to resolve your case with that offer?
Yes, sir. What's the officer?
Withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs.
Okay.
Do you need the hearing devices?
What's withhold mean?
All right. You got to probably step back, talk to Ms. George. I can tell you, a withhold means that the court is going to be a resolution in your case that doesn't involve a conviction. You could be adjudicated, which will involve convicting you of the crime. But it's up to you whether you want to resolve your case this afternoon or not.
I would like to resolve the case, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you here in that charge of disorderly conduct is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail, and a $500 fine is the maximum penalties. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case?
No contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
Well-
I just got out of the hospital yesterday.
All right, what was that mental health illness you were diagnosed with?
I was trying to run out in front of traffic, suicidal and psychotic thoughts.
All right. Are you having any of those thoughts right now?
No, sir.
All right. Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand, enter this plea if you're not a United States citizen, could subject you to deportation.
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity to view a charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. Going to give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs in this case are $223. I'm going to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir. All right, Mr.
Correct.
Leaks. All right. All right, back on Mr. Leaks, 2021 MM14AO. All right, Mr. Leaks and Ms. George. Mr. Leaks, do you understand you want, she said, Ms. George told me you want to enter a plea of no contest. Is that still correct? Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you? Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication? Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness? What was that mental health illness? Are you taking any medications for your schizophrenia right now? Are you suffering from the symptoms of your schizophrenia right now? Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea? You understand by entering this plea if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation. I did have opportunity, sorry, did the party stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I also had an opportunity to review the court file in this case. I did find a factual basis for the purposes of entering of this plea. Going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Going to withhold adjudication of guilt on both counts. We get credit.
48.
We'll give you credit for 48 days in the Orange County Jail with 48 days of credit time served on each count running concurrent to each other. The court cost of prosecution in this case of $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. Going to give you 3 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, Mr. Leaks. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Tuấn Nguyễn.
Say it. What's your name?
Tuấn Nguyễn.
This is Mr. Hicks. Is your last name Hicks?
My last name Nguyễn, sir. Nguyễn. My first name Tuấn.
All right. Did I give you somebody a wing?
He's a city county ordinance, Your Honor.
Yeah. I was in traffic there. Hold on, wait a second.
That's you.
What about Gate? Did I give you a bunch of stuff back there? All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 MO 1227AO on charge of disorderly conduct. I think we've used a Vietnamese interpreter with him before.
He spoke.
Yeah, I'm listening, sir. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm just saying, I remember
Yeah, I'm sure.
using a Vietnamese interpreter last time he was here. All right, sir, if you say you understand, we understand. Sir, you're charged with disorderly conduct. If I didn't find probable cause for your arrest, the city of Orlando is offering you a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. Do you want to accept that offer from the city? Do you want to accept the offer from the city of a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you here and that charge of disorderly conduct is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case?
No contest. Sir.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yeah, I'm listening, sir.
I did have opportunity to view a charging affidavit. I did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept your plea of no contest. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. Give you credit for the 2 days you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court cost in this case is $223. Give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'm still missing somebody. So I give you like that. Some bunch of stuff stuck together.
That is,
Next person I have on my stack is Hicks. I have Hicks. All right, let's get stuck together. Whatever. No. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Janice Danielle Vaughn.
Ms. Vaughn, you're here in case 2021 MO 1228AO on charge of disorderly conduct. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. The city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs. Is that something you want to accept today?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I can put your hand down. Ma'am, the charge of disorderly conduct is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
We're going to do no contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you can waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
I have PTSD.
All right. Are you
I live a
suffering?
very spiritual life, so that I just wanted to put on record.
Yeah. Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your PTSD right now?
I live a spiritual life 24/7, so yes.
So, all right. So PTSD. Are you experiencing any
PTSD
triggers?
has to do with spiritual living, so I mean, yes, I suffer from PTSD 24/7.
All right. Is the symptoms so bad it's affecting your ability to think and understand what's going on around you?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
No.
You understand if you're not a United States citizen, you could be
I
deported.
am a US citizen.
All right. You can be deported from this country if you enter this plea. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I did have an opportunity to view a charging affidavit, did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Going to withhold adjudication of guilt. Give you credit for the 2 days you spend in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs and cost of prosecution in this case are $223. Give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, ma'am.
Okay.
Got big meaty hands. You're sticking to.
Maxwell. Maxwell.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, he did already?
Good afternoon. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry. He bonded, Your Honor.
Who's Hicks bonded? All right. All right. Did Mac bond too? I'm asking. Oh, okay. Is this wishful thinking? Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Markeisha Mack.
All right. Ms. Mack, you gotta keep your mask on for me. But Ms. Mack, you're here in case 2020 CT 6223 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge in that case set your bond amount of $500. I was trying to see if the state of Florida had an offer to resolve this case today.
Withhold of adjudication and credit time served, Your Honor.
Yeah, I was like,
Wait, what?
She just told me no. I was like,
I didn't say anything.
I was like, did she bond too? And you like, no. Then I'm like,
I didn't say anything, Your Honor. I didn't even hear you.
Wait, so,
Mac bonded.
so who is this?
Her bond,
Oh,
her
that's-
charges are closed out. I didn't hear you. You gotta speak up a little.
like, who is going on?
this side.
You good.
All right. Sure, Mr. Malcolm didn't bond.
No, he did not.
Okay. We get started here. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Osiris Malcolm.
Mr. Malcolm, you're here in case 2021 CT 7151 AO on a charge of no valid driver's license. They reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. State was an offer to resolve Mr. Malcolm's case this afternoon.
Withhold of adjudication and credit time served.
All right. Mr. Malcolm, did you want to accept the state's offer of withhold adjudication and guilt credit time, sir?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. Sir, here on that charge of no valid driver's license, that is a second-degree misdemeanor. The maximum penalties for that are 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
yes,
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
no contest.
You understand by airing a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that you reviewed there.
I'm not understanding.
All right? I'll tell you. Do you understand that you wait? I'll go over with him. Sir, you have a right to have a trial in this case. At that trial, the state had to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
I think, Your Honor, I think the part that threw him off was the 60 days.
Yeah, those are the maximum penalties. So the maximum, I had to cover the maximum penalties for this case with you. So you could, if you decided not to take this resolution from the state of Florida, go to trial. And at that trial, the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and the jury returned a verdict of guilty on your, in this case. The judge can adjudicate you guilty of this crime, which means conviction, and sentence you up to 60 days in Orange County Jail, 6 months of probation, or fine you $500. Do you understand that?
Yes,
You understand you have the right to challenge the state's evidence at that trial?
yes,
You understand you can challenge the state's witnesses, call witnesses on your own behalf. Do you understand that?
yes,
If a witness you wanted to call did not want to come to court, the court can use subpoena power to make that witness appear. Do you understand?
yes,
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication?
no,
You understand you're waiving your right to remain silent in this case?
yes,
You understand you're waiving your right to appeal any errors in this case, except the court's jurisdiction over you in the sentence I'm going to impose.
yes,
Have you now in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You know what I'm saying about entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, could subject you to deportation from this country.
Yes.
I had an opportunity to view your charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest in this matter. Find that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. I'm going to give you credit for the 2 days you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs and cost of prosecution in this case is $301. I'm going to give you 2 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand?
Yes.
Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, Christine Ryan bonded.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Odette Alvarado, sir.
Mr. Alvarado, you're here in case 2021 CF 14054AO on charge of possession of cocaine, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest as to this case. Gonna set your bond in count 1 amount of $1,000, count 2 $150, count 3 $100. Condition of your bond, you're not allowed to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're out on bond in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am.
Sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Billings, you're here in case 2021 CF 14068AO. You're arrested for the charge of DUI with 2 prior DUI convictions within the last 3 within 10. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You may not enter any bars or places where the main source of income is a sale of alcoholic beverages. You'll also be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're out on pretrial release in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Benjamin Brooks.
Mr. Brooks, you're here in case 2021 CF 2806AO for violation of conditional pretrial release.
Sir.
Judge signing your warrant, set your bond in count 1, amount of $5,000, count 2, $100. Your bonds can remain as set. I believe you already had a public defender representing you. You have a great day, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Gerard Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in case 2021 CF 14057AO on a driver's license suspended as a third or subsequent offender. Did review the charging affidavit in case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in this case amount $2,500. Condition of your bond, should you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. All right, 2021 CF 14047AO. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Davis. Did you want to wait or?
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, David's gonna set bond and did find probable cause for his arrest in charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. Going to set his bond in that case in the amount of $2,500. It's gonna come with pretrial release supervision. They had no contact with the victim, not returned to the scene of the location where this incident happened, not having any contact with any witnesses from this case. He may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent him. Actually, what did I set his bond at? I'll set it at I'll set it at $1,500. He's 82 years old. He doesn't have any prior criminal history. Lopez is quarantined. All right, 2021 CF 14040 AO. Diaz Lopez going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, judge signed his warrant in this case, found probable cause for grand theft of $10,000 and criminal mischief, first degree misdemeanor criminal mischief. Going to state the bonds on the warrant at $10,000 and $100. Addition had no contact with victims or witnesses, not returned to the scene of the location when the incident occurred. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good afternoon, DeAndre Fields.
Mr. Fields, you're here in case 2021 CF 6444 AO on a flee and attempt to elude law enforcement with license sirens activated charge. Judge signing your warrant. In this case, already found probable cause for your arrest. 1 second. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $3,500. Condition the bond is you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir.
Looks like information has already been filed too in this case as well. All right, have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Diamante Elijah Fonseca.
Mr. Fonseca, you're here in case 2021 CF 14069 AO on a charge of burglary of a dwelling with assault battery and attempted sexual battery. Attempted sexual battery in this case. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State, what are you asking I do as to count one?
Your Honor, count one is punishable by life. I ask defendant be held no bond.
All right. And Ms. George, what are you asking I do as to count one?
No argument, reserve the right to have Arthur, Your Honor.
All right. These seems to be add-on charges from a previous arrest. Want to stay bond and count one amount of no bond. Count two, going to set bond amount of $25,000. Condition of the bond, no contact with the victim, no return to the scene of the location. Do we get a DV no contact order already? Let's get one for this case, even though there are ones in the previous cases. May not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Make addition that you abide by the injunctions in place against you in 2019 DR 9724, 2019 DR 58889. And 2019 DR 5444. That was the last one. That one, yeah, the last one off. Yeah, the last two. Sorry. The active one is 2019 DR 9724, correct. All right. Have a great day, sir.
I don't understand nothing he said.
This is Mr. Green.
Mr. Green bonded.
Is this the other Mr. Green?
Yes, and this is the other, this Timothy Green.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Stephen Green.
Mr. Green, you're here in case 2021 CF 14052AO on charge of aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony and resisting officer without violence. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set bond in count 1 in the amount of $8,000, count 2 $100, condition of the bond, no contact with the victims or any witnesses from this case. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to return to the scene of location where this incident occurred. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. And state, did you file on this other case?
No, not as yet, Your Honor.
All right, and he's already been released on the 33-day motion in that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm not going to take any action 2021 CF 11549. Correct. All right, have a great day, sir.
Danny Hunter, Your Honor, refused.
All right, it's 2021 CF 13779 AL. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Hunter. Did you want him to be here for this?
Yes, Your Honor. Can we try for tomorrow at least, Your Honor?
All right, we'll reset him for tomorrow. He's charged with second-degree murder. I did find probable cause for his arrest. I think there's a warrant for his arrest, finding
Yes.
probable cause.
Sorry, Your Honor. On Timothy Green, the previous defendant, you
Yes.
took no action on that on bond, correct?
Correct, because the state hasn't filed and he's already been released on a 30-day motion. All right, so we'll reset Mr. Hunter for tomorrow morning. And
Jonathan Hassan bonded. Devondra Lewis bonded.
all right. Supposed to get this copy, right? Yeah, I think Mr. Fonseca is supposed to get this copy. This is his copy. Oh, you want to put it in his mail or? Well, that's what I mean. Just want to make it clear in all his cases, no contact. All right. We have Brian Mason. That's my next person. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ryan Scott Mason.
Mr. Mason, you're here in case 2020 CF 15028AO on charge of failure to appear warrant. Judge signed your warrant, set your bond at no bond. Your bonds remain at no bond at this time. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
He's already appointed. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Massey, you're here in case 2021 CF 14062AO on charges of possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted delinquent, possession of a firearm, commission of a felony, possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna set bond in count 1 amount of $5,000, count 2 150, count 3 150, condition of the bond. No weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. May not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users in this case. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. All right, and this 2021 CF 5342 AO case. Let me see one thing. Did you file, did it say you guys file on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. He is set for pretrial January 19th.
All right. All right, sir, in that case, the court find probable cause that you, and then again, have another firearm, and commit a new law offense. The court is going to revoke that bond in that case, going to set new bond at $0 in that matter. Going to, we've already had the public defender appointed to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Can I have a moment to speak with the public defender, sir?
Sure. What, like 5 cases? Huh? Oh. It's good. That seems clearing up out there. What was that? It's like sun's coming out. Yeah. It was raining hard earlier.
Alan Miller is behaving.
All right, Mr. Miller is supposed to be here in 2021 MO 1229 AO and 2021 CF 14058. Going to appoint the public defender to represent him in both cases.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, as to the MO case, I did find probable cause for his arrest. And as to the possession of cocaine case, I did find probable cause for his arrest. Going to release him in both cases on pretrial release. Is that correct?
No, yeah, you know.
I'm just what you guys told me.
You should have gotten a message from your JA advising that he didn't call.
I'm saying, I'm not getting a message from my J. I don't have an updated sheet, so. All right, I'll do this. On the MO case, I release him on his own recognizance. As to the possession of cocaine case, set bond in that case amount of $1,000. Condition on his bond, they not allowed to have any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Possess or consume. Not allowed to associate with any drugs, known drug dealers or drug users. So the random drug testing in that case. All right, 2021 CF 14034 AO, Surprise Baez. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, he's here on charge of a driver license suspended as a third subsequent offender. Did find probable cause for that charge. Going to stay his bond in that case. Condition of the bond, no operating motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sam Russell.
Mr. Russell, you're here in case 2021 CF 14053 AO on charge of grand theft motor vehicle, possession of fentanyl, and possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting officer without violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Say was an offer to resolve this out on bond case?
No, Your Honor.
Here you go. All right, Mr. Russell, I'm going to set your bonding. Count 1, in this case, about $2,000. Count 2, $150. Count 3, $100. Count 4, $100. Condition of your bond that you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. You're out on ROR in case 2021 MM6765AO. That case was filed, right?
Yes, Your Honor. He has trial November 8th.
Court's going to revoke the ROR status, set new bond at $0 in that case. You have a great day, sir.
I don't know what it all meant.
November 8th.
What's that?
Downtown, they just called me. You did call me, remember, and the court did it.
What is it? You want to know about status? I don't know.
You're out on bond, so parties out.
I can't buy it now.
No.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Samuel Sanchez, sir.
Sanchez, you're here in case 2021 CF14050AO. Charged of possession of cocaine, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And count two is more of an attempt state, correct?
Attempted tampering.
Yes, attempted destruction. Sorry. So, court count two from probable cause for attempted tampering with physical evidence. Same statute, just got to add 777.04. Yeah, it's just the same, but it's not. It's both statutes. It's not. I don't know how you guys want to do it. It's probably a drop down dash something in the system for tampering with attempted tampering. All right, so on count one, it's still a felony in either case. All right, count one, going to set bond amount of $1,000. Count two, $150. Count three, $100. Condition of the bond: not allowed to possess any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. Not allowed to associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. You will be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. In 2021 CF12. Sorry, I'm appointing a public defender to represent you in 14050. In 2021, CF 12964AO, we're going to revoke your bond in that case. Count one, we're going to set an amount of $2,000. Count two, $2,000. Same conditions as your other case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No associating yourself with known drug dealers or drug users. And you'll be subject to random drug testing in that case as well. Yep. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Hector Wilson Santiago, and I was wondering if...
Santiago, 1 second, give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 14043AO on charge of burglary of an occupied dwelling and trespass on property after warning. Did review the charging affidavits, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you, Mr. Santiago. If you got a question, I'm going to have you talk to Ms. George
It was just
about your
for
question.
possible PTR or ROR.
Yeah, you don't qualify for either one of those, so talk to Ms. George about anything else you need to talk to her about. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
All right. All right, Mr. Santiago, on count one, going to set your bond amount of $5,000. Count two, $100. Condition of your bond, you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. Not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to turn over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not return to the scene of this location. Possessing drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case because it seems the state hasn't filed, and you're released on a 30-day motion 10 days ago. Have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Vincent Whitmore.
Mr. Whitmore, you here in case 2021 CF 14059 AO on the charge of possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver and possession of cannabis. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Set bond in count one in amount of $2,500. Count two, $150. Condition of your bond that you're not allowed to possess any any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. Not allowed to associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Seems that you're on probation in two Orange County cases. First one being 2019 CF 12055. The next one being 2020 CF 292 AO. Court found a probable cause for an on view violation of probation in this case. You're going to set bond at no bond in those cases. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You have a great day, sir. State, did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. George, did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis. Let's say.